This week, Beacon Web News covers MCLa's Public Policy Lecture Series, featuring the Honorable Jane Swift, who spoke on the Trump presidency. And Dear World, a storytelling experience that focuses on highlighting connections between people's unique and individual stories, made its way to the MCLA community. BWN begins right now. Welcome to the April 19th episode of Beacon Web News. I'm Sam Niskern. The Honorable Jane Swift, former state senator and governor of Massachusetts, spoke at the Public Policy Lecture Series about the Trump presidency. Maggie Allen has the details.
On Thursday, MCLA students and faculty had the chance to hear from North Adams native and the very Honorable Jane Swift. North Adams native and former acting governor Jane Swift began her talk with her political views and backlash she received during the election.
Well, I am a Republican and still proudly a Republican. I did not vote for Donald Trump in this last election. And in fact, I actively worked against Donald Trump. I was a supporter of Jeb Bush, which at times engendered a lot of displeasure from some of my Republican friends and conservative Republicans, but I believed then that Jeb Bush would have been a great president.
President of the College Republicans Club, Caitlin Wright, spoke to Jane Swift about the post-election tension on college campuses during the college roundtable.
On our campus, and I'm sure on campuses across the country, there was a great deal of tension. So what do you think that we can do as students to bridge our ideological differences to unite under a common goal?
I think the only way we are going to solve the toughest issues that we face as a country is by listening to lots of points of view. And I think we've lost that in a way because we tend to surround ourselves both in the media, but really even in person with people who share our viewpoint.
Swift also spoke on Massachusetts state testing and the overall education in the state.
Massachusetts today has, it's not even argued anymore, the best public education system in the country, and in many cases we're competitive internationally with math and science. Students who go to our public schools here can compete with kids who go to private schools almost anywhere else in the country, and that is a phenomenal advantage that I am so proud that we achieved.
Caitlin Wright asked Swift what advice she would give to any young woman that wants to get involved in politics.
I think a lot of times women do know their stuff, but don't be afraid. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be, an expert in every single issue. You just have to feel really strongly about a couple of issues and then have confidence in the people you surround yourself with, and you'll do great.
During her talk, Swift called out for wider paths for women in government and reached out to the students of MCLA to do so. For Beacon Web News, I'm Maggie Allen.
Thanks, Maggie. Dear World has appeared on The Today Show, CNN, and The Washington Post, and in more than 30 countries. The interactive storytelling experience visited MCLA, and Dan Wohler has the story.
Dear World is an interactive storytelling experience that focuses on uniting communities through messages written on people's skin. These messages reflect unique and individual stories meant to highlight connections. Erica Lucia previously participated in Dear World at a student leadership conference and wanted to bring the event to the MCLA community. After several phone conferences, email threads, and steering committee meetings, Lucia was able to bring the bonding experience of Dear World to MCLA.
It was just amazing to hear people's stories that I see every single day, or people that I walk by now and I can say hi and check on how they're doing, because now I know that some of them are doing so good, or some of them are doing better than they were when they were home.
Phil Shedd volunteered as a Dear World guide, and he explained how he helps students to figure out their story and how to distill that into a message.
So telling them, think about about what made you you. How'd you get here today? What are your stories? And then trying to find one specific story that maybe influenced them a great deal. Then finding a specific moment with as much detail as possible. And then trying to draw from that a phrase that's specific to them, stuff that doesn't really mean anything to anybody except for that person. So it's like, why is that written on you? That was the big drive behind the whole project, was getting people to ask why. Why is that what you chose? What's your story?
Mackenzie Cutler was one of 6 members of the MCLA community chosen to share her story to the audience at the photo reveal in the Campus Center gym. She described how communicating her experience led to others reaching out to her.
It was a great experience because after people did come up to me saying they never knew the story about me, and other people came up to me saying that they shared the type of story that I have and they've dealt with it too. So it was a great experience, having people come to me and share their experience with me too, and that way just shared something together, so that way I can help other people go through the same experience that I have been through.
Shed was also among the 6 people selected to share their stories, and he detailed what it was like to explain to a full audience an experience he kept suppressed.
To talk about something that's so personal that a lot of people don't talk about, not even to one other person, let alone an entire gym. It was crazy, but it was also incredibly humbling.
Shed described a personal and intimate moment of connection that occurred between himself and another member of the community after he shared his story.
This guy, I see this guy every day on campus. Never thought twice. It was just there's a face. And he comes up to me and he's crying, and he's like, I can identify with your story more than you know. And thank you so much for sharing it.
Cutler expressed the unique nature of Dear World and why it was a significant event for MCLA.
You're not alone in whatever you're going through, and you're one in a billion, so everyone has their own story to share. So it's a way to bring the school together to show that everyone, we are together in this, and it's okay to show your feelings, and it's okay to be who you are, and that we're all here for each other.
Both the photos and the stories made for an interactive experience, fostering connection and unity. For Beacon Web News, I'm Dan Wohler.
Thanks, Dan. The winner of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Challenge, hosted by the MCLA Leads Initiative, will be announced in the Center for Science and Innovation Atrium tonight at 5:30. The winner will receive $10,000 for the development and execution of their idea, a 10-week funded internship, and access to mentors and advising. MCLA hosts the 15th Annual Undergraduate Research Conference tomorrow, Thursday, April 20th from 8:45 a.m. to 5 p.m. More than 125 students will show 104 presentations during the all-day conference. This year's keynote speaker is 2010 MCLA graduate Caitlin Hallett, who is currently a program manager at Fidelity Investments in Boston. Hallett majored in English and secondary education, and she will speak on how to prepare for a career in finance by going to school to teach English at 12:30 p.m. in the Amsler Campus Center gym. Dr. Joseph Cardillo, the author of Body Intelligence, Harness Your Body's Energies for Your Best Life, will be speaking at the North Adams Public Library on Thursday, April 20th at 5:30 p.m. Dr. Cardillo is an expert in body energy, attention training, and creative thinking, and has taught his methods to more than 20,000 students in various colleges, universities, and institutes. He is a regular contributor to Psychology Today and is the author of Be Like Water. Articles on his work have appeared in several publications, including Smithsonian Magazine, The New York Post, The Los Angeles Times, and more. Brianna Bradley will perform Buck on Friday, April 21st from 7 to 8 p.m. in the Until exhibit in Mass MoCA. It features Ashton Derritt of the Disfunct Crew. Buck aims to unpack the many layers of Black masculinity through movement, music, and vocalizations in her dance performance. The conference, Reading for Pleasure, Romance Fiction and the International Marketplace, brings together scholars, bloggers, authors, and publishers of popular romance fiction to explore the international dimensions of the romance publishing industry. Presentations will focus on the ways in which North American romances are marketed to readers in other continents, as well as indigenous romance series that have sprung up in places such as China, Russia, and Turkey. The conference explores multiculturalism in a popular romance and will include a screening of the documentary film Love Between the Covers, as well as a book signing with romance authors. The conference will be hosted at Williams College and begins on Friday, April 21st at 1 p.m. and ends on Sunday, April 23rd. For more information, visit the link below. We're halfway through Student Activities Council's Spring Week, but this Saturday, April 22nd, is Spring Fest in the Quad from 12 to 4 p.m. There will be a bouncy house, oversized games, and more. And then, Big Prize Bingo will be at 8 p.m. in Venable Gym. We are just 2 days away from the inauguration of President James Burge this Friday, April 21st at 2 p.m. in the Church Street Center. That will do it for this week. You can stay updated with developing news on MCLA's campus by visiting theonlinebeacon.com and by following MCLA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.